here we go. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt, Knost, and Drew Stoltz. The 2024 PGA Tour season is in the books. And surprise, surprise, Scotty Scheffler is your FedEx Cup champion. But before we get going here, Sleaze, I want to tell you about RLX. Because at RLX Ralph Lauren, timelessness has been at the core since the beginning. Born on the course but drawing on the tradition of polo, RLX celebrates classic and iconic products that are meant to be loved enduring the test of time while focusing on performance-driven design. By blending the sophistication of style with the precision of sport, RLX seamlessly blends performance wear and elevated sportswear. From sophisticated styles to the most technologically advanced fabrics available, RLX is the ultimate in functional luxury and provides pieces that are ready for whatever the conditions bring, both on and off the course. Ralph Lauren is the official outfitter of the United States Ryder Cup team and partner of the AJGA. Ralph Lauren is proud to continue its sponsorship of golf ambassadors Andrea Lee, Billy Horschel, Davis Love III, Devin Bling, Doc Redman, Jonathan Bird, Nick Watney, Sean Foley, Smiley Kaufman, Todd Anderson, Tom Watson, Trevor Werbelow, Troy Taylor III, Tyler Stravachi, and Zach Johnson. The RLX collection is available in select Ralph Lauren stores, exclusive private clubs and resorts, and online at ralphlauren.com. You can get these two pieces we got on right here.
Why wouldn't you?
Nice little golf polos.
Why wouldn't you? Be a mistake not to.
Tell you what, we look good.
Feel good.
Tell you whose game looks good. Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, Scotty's, yeah.
I haven't seen yours in a while.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay,
Gotta assume it's good, though.
But Scotty Scheffler, doing what Scotty Scheffler does, goes out there, takes care of business. Third time in a row. He has been at the pole position heading in to East Lake. Third time's a charm. He walks through the door and gets it done. Dominating fashion. Got close for a second after a little hosel rocket out of the bunker there on 8. But for the most part, other than him bogeying the first on Thursday and Xander birdieing, it really wasn't that close all week long.
And then at the end of that round, he was up 7. And he ends up 30 under on the leaderboard. And at the end of the day, there's two guys who both played fantastic, by the way, Colin Morikawa, Seth Theegala. Two guys within 11 shots of him. I was kind of personally, I know you and I were like texting about it, like, I hope he wins by 12. I hope he just runs away and hides and this thing is a nut. Like, Colin made it close, so he didn't do that. But still, at the end of the day, very little drama, I think. And I was like, hopefully, if it's just a beatdown, they might look at this format and be like, okay, maybe this is too much. Because ultimately, like, they market this thing as on your broadcast, how many times do they reference, let's check out the race to East Lake and the FedEx Cup standings. It's all season long. All you hear, FedEx Cup, FedEx Cup, FedEx Cup. Then you get to the biggest event of the year, the race to East Lake, and there's about a third of the field that maybe has a chance. And if Scotty Scheffler plays good, it's smaller. You have zero chance. So it's like, why are we doing this? You and I love golf as much, probably consume as much golf as anyone. I wasn't all that into it yesterday. I got a little bit interested there for a minute. I was like, oh my God, Colin might actually make this thing a fight. And then as quick as that happened, 3 birdies in a row, eagle a couple holes later, boom, third nap. It doesn't have drama.
Like I said, I'm all in. I watch every bit of golf I can. If it's the Masters, a major championship, or something exciting, even the players, like, I'm on the couch, glued to the TV, sound on if I'm not working. And Sunday, Natalie and I went and had lunch right in the middle of it. And then he shanked it on 8. And I was like, holy shit, we got to get home. I got to go watch this. And then on the 7-minute drive home, he went birdie, birdie, birdie. I was like, okay, well, that was over. We actually didn't need to come home so fast.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think, maybe, tell me if I'm like in the minority here, but like what you should hope for at the end is just drama. And you want, of course, you want your best guys there, but you want drama. Is it better if Scotty runs away and hides? Sure, he's the best player in the world right now. But is it the season-long chase? Or is it playoffs? Because those are two totally separate things. I think you cap it at the end of the regular season, award Scotty a bunch of money. You're the best player for the entire season. Now we start the playoffs. And ultimately, however you want to get there, we talked about this a lot on radio. I think 54 holes of qualifying, chop it to the top 4. 4 guys start at level on Sunday. 1 round, $25 million. I will be in front of the TV at the time they tee off on 1, and I'll be there till the end of 18 because more often than not, you're going to have a photo finish with 4 of the best players in the world playing 1 round of golf. There's not that much separation.
Look, the way it is right now, you have 70 guys start the playoffs. And if you want to call it playoffs, then it should be a playoff. I agree with you. And I think we both have good ideas that we can combine together and make this thing really exciting. But you're jockeying for position at the first 2 events. And then when you get to East Lake, like, Scotty should be awarded some kind of advantage because he is the best player. He has accumulated the most points. But we could do a staggered start where we bring it down where Scotty starts at 500, number 30, who is Justin Thomas, starts at even. And you can stagger it between there. So you got 5 shots between 30th and 1st. And I think that's very doable. I know it's only 3 rounds, but that is doable to try to get up there.
Get a little cushion.
And then I like you said, we go top 4. So Scotty starts at 5, Justin Thomas starts at 30, everybody else is in between. Top 4 guys at the end of Saturday, they're teeing it up Sunday, and everybody starts at 0, and everything's on the line.
That's what I would watch. That I would be tuned in for that.
You have a much
Yesterday,
better
I
chance,
watched
yeah.
very little of that golf tournament until the very. I tuned in when it got to 2. Then he broke it open again, went somewhere else, and I watched like the closing. The other thing that I think is tough about having it at East Lake, and I completely understand why it's at East Lake, is that golf course, especially with the redo. They ate it up. I mean, 22 under, Colin Morikawa, 21 Sahith with a 2-stroke self-imposed 2-stroke penalty by the way. They killed that place, but that's a golf course that doesn't have. Not a lot of disasters lurking out there. 15, the only one, and they played it so far up. It was wedge or 9-iron pretty much for these guys. Like it's just not going to happen. There's no big numbers to be made.
Yeah, and what now is the 8th hole used to be a very daunting par 4. Water all down the left. That's where Bill Haas hit the incredible shot off the bank down there. But they moved it up and they made it drivable, which I'm all for having a drivable hole. But when it's probably your toughest and scariest tee shot and you make it a drivable hole, like it kind of takes. Like you said, you're not going to make a lot of doubles.
No, it's easy to make a lot of bogeys if you drive it crooked. But these are the 30 best guys in the world, more or less, minus a few of the live guys. Like they're not playing, and they're playing good. They're not playing bad. Like there's just no big numbers to be had. I mean, I think Hoagie shot a 76 one day, 74 or 76. That 76. Was the highest. 76.
Only round over 74.
Only round over 74, and they were. I mean, 68 was the average on Sunday. They killed that place. And all I heard leading up was how tough it was going to be.
Yeah, they didn't have as much rough as normal. I mean, you got the occasional ball sitting down the Bermuda. Greens, they said, were crazy firm at the start of the week. Looked to me like they got pretty soft towards the end, and I didn't see it rain at all. I don't know if look, you play anywhere. This isn't to pick on East Lake. You play anywhere in the Southeast in August, it's going to be soft.
And those greens are brand new, and they were as firm as you could get greens for this time of year down there.
I'm interested. I have a feeling they got to be sitting down there in Ponte Vedra. I know they got a lot of stuff going on right now, but one of the topics has to be, what can we do to make the Tour Championship more exciting? Because you can't have your biggest event, all that money, $100 million purse, and you can't have it be a snooze fest.
And even your diehard fans aren't watching.
Now, if you do the format like we're saying, where you go to the Final Four and someone goes out there and shoots 62 on Sunday and just blows them out of the water, fine. But at least at the start, they were all at 0 and someone went out there and just dominated. But the odds are you're going to have probably 2 of those 4 guys battling it out coming down the stretch. And we're talking 8. I mean, how good would a tie ball game on 18 be?
Yes.
With 25 million.
Playoff for it? 2 guys tie? 66. All right, let's go.
You want to chop this thing?
Yeah, dude, a little parking lot job.
Yeah.
All right, let's go out there and give a good show, but we're splitting this, right? And that way, like when Brian Harmon makes double at the BMW, Justin Thomas all of a sudden in, Brian Harmon out. It was a huge deal. Oh, Justin Thomas made it to East Lake. Great. He shot 14 under. You know, it was finished 16 shots back. Why is he like? It's not a knock on Justin Thomas. Why are these guys there? They have even par guys have 0% chance. So what, they're playing for just to make more money. More so they can make $500,000 more. Like who cares about that? That doesn't make it a good golf tournament.
So last place was 550. JT shot 14 under, finished tied for 14th. I think he made 980,000.
He made a huge jump. He went from 30th to 14th. But like, how much he plays 0 role in deciding that golf tournament. And when Scotty plays the way he does, and dude, he got a 7-shot lead after the first round. PGA Tour's marketing is like biggest lead ever.
That was
after
stupid.
One round. I'm like, what are we doing? Do you guys, dude? He's 17 under after round 1. That's got to be a record too. Like these are the dumbest things ever. Why is this? These aren't real records. But you market this thing all year long, all the money, the biggest everything, and there's realistically about 5 guys that have a chance. There's 2 guys at the end of the day within 11 of Scotty Scheffler. That's not a good product.
And one thing people are going to say is Colin Morikawa won the golf tournament. He shot 22 under par. But we talked about this earlier. Like, when you have a 7-shot lead with 16 holes to play, you're going to play a little different than you would if you had a 1-shot lead or you're tied. If you're tied, he had a 5-shot lead with 4 holes to play. He ain't going flag hunting. This is, how do I not mess this thing up? Get me 4 putts at birdie, 4 greens in regulation. Let's get the hell out of here. Whereas Colin Morikawa, it's a different situation. He's trying to finish second.
Yeah, he's 7 up after day 1. He's not playing the same as he would play if he'd started that thing and he's like 2 back after round 1. Like, just like, hey, fat side of the green, let's make a bunch of pars. You're going to make some birdies. Just don't have any disasters. And like we said, there aren't many to be had out there, especially for Scotty Scheffler. So if did the right guy win? Sure. He's the best player in golf, period, end of story. But it's either the season-long chase, which Scotty was the best, or it's the playoffs. Like you got to pick. They're trying to be 2 things at once right now. I'd like to see it. They market it this way. I'd like to see it more of like a true playoff where you get in, you have a chance. Because right now, realistically, very few guys do.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just applaud Scotty Scheffler for this season, though, because if you include the Olympics, that's 20 events, 8 wins, 17 top 10s. I mean, a Masters, a Players, multiple signature events, 62.2 million. I believe Justin Ray broke it down to 870,000 per round he made.
Yeah, over 800 grand per round. Fun. He made 12K per shot that he hit this year in golf. Should have fucked up a lot. Should have just been batting it around. Cha-ching, cha-ching. It's a joke of a year. He's now got 2 of the best 3 in the history of golf in terms of stroke gain. Tiger Woods, number 1. Scotty has 2 and 3. Tiger's 4. Yeah. Like what you're seeing is crazy special stuff.
He broke the all-time, the best season scoring average ever. He averaged 68 for the season.
He played bad twice.
U.S.
And
Open,
bad's like relative. He made the cut at a major. Some people that's hard to do. Yeah, U.S. Open and Castle Pines.
Must have been something in the air.
That's
there
it.
in Colorado.
It takes a real one to get it done up in Colorado. I'll tell you that. You can't fake it around that
Can
state.
I tell you the most exciting part of my weekend with the golf?
I would love to hear it.
So there's this golf pool. It's got some rather nice stakes to it, okay? I was out of it. Didn't really matter. But there were some boys battling it out for the top prize, which, by the way, it's a big number. I'm not going to say the number. It's 6 figures for the win. So there's a man who is, and they have, it's on this app, it is projected. So you can see exactly where you stand.
Oh, they keep it live like that?
Oh, yeah, it's live.
That's
nice.
So
you know where you stand. So there's a gentleman who's got Sam Burns, who had a nice week, finished like 12th, I believe, made 100. If they do the last event based off of a $20 million purse. So the winner gets $3.6 million, whoever the low is for the strokes. And that ended up being Colin Morikawa. But the guy that was projected to be first with 1 hole to go had Sam Burns. The other guy had Xander Schauffele. Okay? Well, Xander, if you remember, hit it in the short greenside bunker in 2. If he gets it up and down for birdie, the other guy's going to jump him and finish first. Well, he hits it over the green. This thing's over. He's dead.
That was completely dead where he was.
He holds that putt and ended up winning the season-long pool by $80,000. And that putt was worth like $300,000 or something like that. It was something stupid. But ended up winning him the entire pool for this season because of that one putt. How cool is that?
How about
he actually called into our radio show today.
He called in and it was awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, how about Xander? I was like, I'm 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
How about 18 was a joke. That putt to go in. I'm like, dude, that's 1 in 30 maybe. And it dripped in, by the way. How about the birdie on 16? Dude, he went birdie to do that. I mean, at 3 holes left, the dude's probably like, damn, all right, maybe I'll finish 4th. That would be a good week. Then birdie. Then another birdie, 17 birdies, 18.
They pay out top 20 in this pool because there's like 240 people. But the putt from off the green to win the whole damn thing.
That's pretty nice. Good for him. Shout out to 2 thumbs up, which sounds like it's a little bit of a syndicate. They're all grouped together. By the way, another thing on Eastlake real quick as we're breaking down all the stuff that wasn't brought up a ton and why I think the scoring was so low is that the zoysia around the greens as opposed to the Bermuda how many sweet chip shots and high shots with spin and that you could hit so many more shots around that place with the zoysia compared to the Bermuda. That's another reason I think they lit it up because you miss greens, you miss it in the short grass, you're getting up and down.
It's a cheat code. I mean, the ball's on a tee. These guys are so good around the greens. They can spin the shit out of it off zoysia. But I'm not going to complain about that because I say this all the time. People are like, oh, you got to make this course harder. You got to do this. This is 1 week a year this golf course is used. The other 51 weeks, it is for the members, and the members are the one who foot the bill. So zoysia for the members is great. For PGA Tour players, I mean, I'm trying to think of all the places that have zoysia off the top of my head on the PGA Tour. First one that comes to mind, Craig Ranch. They shoot about 100 under there. It makes it super easy. Ball sits up on a tee.
It's like cheating.
Controlling your irons is great. Chipping, makes
drivers
it
off the deck or no problem. Like you can just do so much. Chipping it, you can do anything you want with it. But in terms of like the scoring at Eastlake, I don't give a shit if they shoot 20 under at that thing or 10 under. I just want it to be close.
Yeah.
I just want to care with 9 holes left. And this
Change
week,
the format.
like, I didn't care. And I honestly think 1 round, 4 guys, all the marbles, people will tune into that. I mean, you can't pump this thing all year long and then here it comes, final day. Don't care. Well, no other sports like that.
If they have me back and I'm still with CBS, I would like them to start that format 2 years.
Next year?
2 years,
2 years from now?
Because NBC has it next year, then CBS.
Yeah. Well, put the bug in there. If anyone can make it happen, dude.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Throw your weight around a little bit. What's the point?
All right. Well, listen, Scotty Scheffler, he's going to be hyped. Just made $25 million. But it's Labor Day out there. Probably guys are a little tired after enjoying the day off, so you need to get hyped and get a little 5-hour energy in you.
Yeah, of course. You always have to get a little 5-hour up in you because golf is long. It's a marathon sport, and you need endurance to do it right. That's why 5-hour energy is changing the game with their new transfusion-flavored shot. here to bring the feelings of energy you need to make it through all 18 holes. We all know what a transfusion is. It's that delicious grape, ginger, and lime drink we love to get at the Bev Cart or at the clubhouse. Well, 5 Hour Energy has captured all of that flavor with no alcohol, of course, in this new shot. It's filled with vitamins, nutrients, and about as much caffeine as 12 ounces of the leading premium coffee. A Transfusion 5 Hour Energy shot lets you skip your pre-putt cafe run and head straight to the first hole. You know what that means? More time to take your shot where it matters most. With 0 sugar and just 4 calories, a Transfusion 5 Hour Energy shot lets you bring the energy to every swing, every hole, and every moment on the course. Transfusion 5 Hour Energy is only available for a short time, so be sure to grab yours before they're gone. Head over to 5, that's the numeral 5, hourenergy.com now, so they'll be in hand before your next tee time. I've been partaking a little bit.
They're delicious.
Cinco Horas, as I like to call it. Delicious.
Delicious.
By the way.
Go get you some 5 Hour Energy and never be tired.
Never.
All right. Our guest this week. This is a fun one. Okay. Everyone out there has heard of Good. These guys absolutely kill it. In my opinion, probably he's top 3 best players as far as the YouTube space goes. Brad Dalke joins us on this week's Subpar. I know he didn't have the greatest week at the Creator Classic. Really wanted to be in that final shootout, but he is a stick man, and he's a lot of fun to talk to. Here's Brad Dalke on Subpar.
All right, folks. Our guest today is a former NCAA champion at the University of Oklahoma, also runner-up at the U.S. Amateur, who has taken his talents to Dallas and joined up with the fellas from Good. Brad Dalke is in the house. How we doing, Dalke?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good to have you, bud.
Yeah, man. Always
good
great
to have you.
I actually got the pleasure of playing golf with you for the first time ever about a month or so ago up at y'all's Good event in French Lick. By the way, Sleazy hits the shit out of it. No surprise.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've heard. Seen the numbers. What is the ball speed with the dog stock?
Oh man, the last I was hitting drivers like on a TrackMan or a monitor, I was like 125 club head, and then about kind of that high 180s ball speed.
Decent.
Cruising. I got a little bit of an extra gear if I want it, but yeah, it's great. Well, it's only been like the last 6 months. Like I was always kind of fast, 118 or so. And then somehow I think my swing's just in a better spot now where I'm synced up and I can kind of go at it. But in the last 6 months or so, it's gotten to another level, which is fun. I'm trying to take advantage of it when I can.
Yeah, when's our shit going to sync up and we get an extra 8 mile an hour club heads?
I go from 102. Unsynced. I go from 102 to 102.3
Yeah, same with me, dude. My next
right down
gear.
the middle, though. Right down the middle.
That's true. It goes straight. You can hear it land. It's really depressing. But you're just coming off the Creator Classic. You missed the playoff by a shot. You shot even par there around Eastlake. But tell us a little bit about that because that was a first to have YouTube join up with the PGA Tour to do it the day before the start of the Tour Championship. It was a really cool event.
It was awesome. I think, kudos to the PGA Tour for putting it on. And I think a lot of these golf organizations are starting to realize that YouTube golf it's coming. It's on its way and it's already kind of here. And a lot of these organizations are realizing that and trying to get on top of it to where they can get that YouTube fan base that we have at Good. And so kudos to them for putting it on, and they did a great job. They did everything right with it, and it was a great time. The format I think this year might have been a little bit more of a test run, just kind of see how things go. That's why it was 8 holes and then one playoff hole and all that. So I could see it in the future. I don't know anything for sure, but I could see it in the future, like next year, maybe the year after, where they turn it into a full 18 holes, maybe even like a 2-day event, and I think they're heading the right way with that. But it was a lot of fun. East Lake was so much fun to play. The day before, one of the biggest tournaments of the year. It's pretty crazy that we were able to do that, and I had a great time.
I'll say this: like you mentioned, the fan base y'all have over at Good, which I believe y'all have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I mean, your audience is much younger than the PGA Tour. I mean, the average age to watch the PGA Tour is in the 60s. And I think this is why it's such a good idea to bring that audience. I mean, when I played with you there in French Lick, small little town, there's 3,000 people on the grounds lining the fairways, going nuts. I mean, y'all are the damn Beatles out there.
It's crazy, and I'm still pretty new to all this. These guys, Sharf, Garrett, all those guys, have been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. Garrett even longer than that, actually. And so I'm obviously new to the YouTube stuff. I was doing college golf, pro golf, and then about 1.5 years ago is when I started getting into this. And I knew YouTube golf had their fans and all that, but until I actually put myself into good and into all this, I didn't realize how like die hard some people are. I mean, like you said, French Lake is not much of a town at all. It's in the middle of nowhere in Indiana, and the fact that we were able to get that many people out there, it does show how many fans Good Good has and how many they've accumulated in the last 5 years. And I think I say this to a lot of people. I think a huge thing is when I was a kid, I used to watch like Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, y'all, cartoons. Y'all probably the same way. And now I have nephews and nieces that are younger that only watch YouTube. I think kids are just growing up in a YouTube world. There's not really shows anymore. You just go watch a channel that you like on YouTube. And I think that's what's happening with this younger generation. They're growing up and they get into golf, they get into good, and all of a sudden they're hooked. And I think that's just the way streaming's kind of going and all that. And which is obviously puts good and YouTube golf in a good spot. But for a lot of these companies, they're gonna have to make adjustments, I think, here in the next few years.
What was the reaction, Brad? Because you had a monster amateur career, national champion, runner up at the USAM. You're chasing pro golf as most guys do for a little bit, and then to go from that world to the YouTube world. Are you happy? Are you happier now where you are than you were when you were chasing it? And what was the reaction from some of your guys that you came up with when you're like, "Hey, dude, I'm going over here to do this"?
Yeah, it was a change, that's for sure. But I think to answer your first question, I'm much happier right now with. Obviously, college golf, I had a pretty good career. My senior year, I struggled a little bit, but then pro golf was just 3 years of searching for my swing. I had the driver yips. I mean, it was all over the place. I was going to mini tour events hitting 5 greens around, which obviously in a mini tour event, you have to go shoot 22 under in 3 rounds to win. It's hard to do that whenever you can hardly hit a green. So it was a struggle, and I was just mentally just worn out, not really loving golf. And it was kind of right when I was at the end of like, okay, I don't have enough funds to do this anymore, is right whenever good started happening for me. And so it was perfect timing. And I think it's been so good. Just obviously I miss the competitive side. I miss going out and competing for tournaments, or competing in tournaments, but just I'm having fun with golf again, which is awesome. For a long time there, I wasn't having fun with it. I was stressed out of my mind trying to figure out my swing, trying to figure out how to make a cut on a mini tour event. Like it was difficult. So I think it's brought the fun back into golf for me. And that's what I love about this whole thing is that, I get to go play a scramble with the guys. And although 2 years ago, I would never have guessed that, I'd be doing that quite a bit. Now it's fun. And obviously we still have our individual stuff we'll do, which I enjoy, but it's been so much fun. And I think the guys, Quade Cummins, Blaine Hale, all those buddies I have that I've grown up playing golf with and played in college with and all that, they understood where I was at mentally with golf. And I think they're all just super happy for me that I was able to get on my feet and find something that I'm good at and find something I love to do. And I still get to play golf and just have a little more fun time doing it than I was when I was grinding on the mini tours.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, I mean, I think for me, like I first heard your name when you made news because you committed to the University of Oklahoma when you were 12 years old, I believe in 7th grade. Your mom went to OU, played golf there. Your dad was a linebacker there. So, I mean, you've always been an OU guy. But take us through that little decision. Like, how did you manage to commit at such a young age? And did you ever get to go on like an actual recruiting trip where you could have a good time?
So I was obviously I was kind of I don't want to just term this on myself, but like a child prodigy, I guess.
That's nice.
I was good when I was younger. And, I was also very, like when I was 12, I was already like 5'8", 180. So I was hitting it longer than everyone else. I was winning all the tournaments I was playing in. And OU, I actually emailed Coach Hibble at OU. It was his first year at OU when I was 11. And just emailed him. He wasn't allowed to email back. I don't know if he could now, but back then he wasn't able to with the NCAA rules. But I just wanted to get my name out there. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm Brad Dalke. I'm the number 1 ranked 11-year-old. I love OU. My parents went there. Grandparents went there. Here are my past tournament results from the last year. Just to kind of get my name in his head. And he actually came and watched me at the honors course, which is now Maridoe in Dallas. He watched me at the Texas Cup there. I was 12 competing in the 15 to 18 division. and he watched me for like 2 or 3 holes, and I think I went like 2 under on those 3 holes. And he liked me a lot. He went and watched me in another event at DAC in Dallas, and went on a little unofficial visit in Norman, and he offered me a full scholarship, and I said, all right, let's do it. And I just knew like I wasn't going to go anywhere else. I knew OU, like my first 2 words are probably Boomer and Sooner, and I didn't want to go anywhere else. Like I didn't, I was lucky that Coach Hibble was such a great coach to have. I was lucky our facilities were awesome. I was lucky we had a great golf team once I got there. But it didn't really matter if, what the coach was, any of that. Like I was just going to get OU. That's just what I knew. And so I was lucky with all of it, us actually having a good team and all that. But I'm a Sooner through and through, and that's where I wanted to go. And to answer your other question, I did not go on any visits other than OU. So that's the one thing, because I am such a college football fan. I kind of wish I had experienced a visit at Death Valley or something, literally just to go to the game. And but no, I'm never on any other visits other than in Norman, Oklahoma. So
on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you hate Texas?
25.
Yes, that's awesome.
That's 2.5x over the scale.
But when you did finish runner-up at the Master or at the U.S. Amateur, you got to play the Masters, and you played a practice round with Jordan Spieth and Bubba Watson.
I did, yeah. Spieth's he's one of the few good Longhorns. I'd throw Scotty in there as well, but there's not many of them. But there's a few. I played the Masters. I got to play practice round with. On Monday, I went with Bubba and Stricker. Tuesday was Spieth, Bubba, and Will McGirt. And then Wednesday was basically rained out. So, I got some fun pairings at the Masters that week.
Did you stay in the crow's nest?
I did.
How was
all
it?
7 days. It was so cool. I don't so me and Toto Ghana stayed there that week for the entire week. The other guys stayed there on Monday night, I think is when the amateur dinner was. And whenever everyone was staying there, it was pretty crowded. But whenever it was just me and Toto, it was pretty nice. But I don't know why, it didn't even cross my mind to not stay there for the week. It's the crow's nest. You're staying in Augusta National's clubhouse. As an amateur, I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. So I was glad I stayed there the whole time. It was a little cramped at times, but other than that, it was a blast.
How about those stairs going up and down there? They're the steepest stairs in the world.
Yeah, and I'm only 5'11", and that doorway, you have to duck under a little bit for me, and the stairs they're short and steep, and I had to watch myself a little bit, but had to be a little careful going up those things.
Going back to your college days, the unofficial visit at age 12 is mind blowing. A little different than maybe the He Got Game experience and things like that.
Slightly.
There had to be a school though. You're the number one kid. They all had to be after you, trying to get you to flip. What school went at you the hardest?
Nobody did, really. Nobody did.
Jeez.
Which is
lazy.
The only letters I got were from A&M, Arizona State, and there was one more. I think I only got 3 letters, which that wasn't, that was just the questionnaire, kind of fill it out, send it back. But no school. I think everyone literally knew that I was through and through a Sooner, and there was absolutely no chance in investing their time. So nobody tried to flip me or get me to go there. I got a few letters, but that was about it.
I want to go back to the national championship there when you won at OU, because Coach Hibble told me this morning on the phone, he put you in the last match because he knew you were y'all's best match play player. But you had quite an interesting match in the first round against Baylor.
Yeah, I did. It was I was playing Matthew Perrine, and Baylor was a sneaky team. They weren't all year long. They weren't ranked. I remember they weren't ranked super high, which we weren't either. We were. I don't know if we even cracked the top 10 all year. We were kind of in that 10 to 25 range the whole year, but they were a sneaky team, I think, like us, that had a lot of good players. And if they could get everyone going at the same time, they were very dangerous. And I remember, which Coach Hibble probably told you this, I remember I was playing Matthew, and I was through 11 holes, and I looked at the leaderboard, and we were down in every single match. And I was like, golly, we made match play last year. My freshman year, we played Texas, got absolutely throttled. And that was a team with Scotty and Gavin Hall and Bo Hostler and all those guys. and I knew we thought we had a better chance with Baylor, but I see that scoreboard. I'm like, geez, like this is bad. And I was losing my match too, so I can't, I couldn't say anything. I had to go, make a comeback. But by the time I got to 15 green, I saw that same scoreboard, and I was leading my match at that point. And then I saw like 3 OU matches we were leading. So we completely flipped a switch in that hour and a half. And then I lost 17. I knew it was going to come down to my match once it all came down to it. I lost 17, and then Matt chipped in on 18 to beat me. And then we had to go to extra holes, which Coach Hibble probably told you this too. We were on the green together, and Matthew had this little chip from off the green, and he had to make it. I was already in for a par, and I think a par. And he had to make it or else they were done. And I told Coach, I was like, he's going to make this. Like, I'm already preparing myself for a playoff hole, and it's like match play. You have to expect your opponent to do the unthinkable or pull off a shot. And I truly was. I was like, I'm already ready for number 1. Like, let's go. And of course he chipped it in.
Yeah.
And we go to number 1, and I stuck with my game plan, threw it off the tee, and made a simple par on a very difficult hole that day, and was able to pull it out. So that was that match, was, like I said, Baylor was a feisty bunch, and they had a lot of great players, and I think we were all very glad to get past them in that first round.
Yeah, but how about that pressure? I mean, your whole team's future rides on your match, and you got to go to extra holes. That's got to be some of the most nerves you've ever faced.
Yeah, see, that's what I love. I love those moments. I always have. I'd rather the ball be in my hands in those situations, and I love the feeling of everyone watching, everyone rooting for me. Obviously, other than the Baylor fans, but I love those moments. I always have, and I think that's another reason why Coach Hill will put me in that anchor spot, just because he knows I'm not going to back down from a situation like that. Like, I'm going to have fun with it. I think is the biggest thing. Have fun with it and just enjoy it, and just thrive in that pressure. Because at that point, everyone's feeling the pressure. It's a matter of who can, come out of it the best way and go through it the best way.
He also said you're messy as shit and your clubs are always dirty.
That's true. That is true. I'm actually better at it now. Still probably not up to his standards, but yeah, there were a lot of times we'd show up to the first tee in a tournament, and he'd look at my clubs. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's just dirt all in the grooves. I'm like, "Well, I'll clean it before each shot."
Yeah, it'll be fine. Go back. You said, like, that's the moment I live for. I love competing and things like that. Do you miss that feeling at all, being that you're not playing much like competitive golf, like it's the YouTube stuff?
I do. I think, I don't see a world where I don't try to get back into competitive in some way, whether it's maybe get my aim status back, just go play amateur events, just to feel that competitiveness. Maybe down the road, get back into pro golf. It's just, for instance, the East Lake tournament. That was my first competitive round in 18 months. Of competitive, playing my own ball, putting everything out. It's on TV, so there's some nerves because of that. And it felt good. I didn't know how I was going to react. I was genuinely pretty nervous going into it, not necessarily on how I'd play, just how my mind was going to be going in a competitive, mindset. But it was fun. And I do miss that part of it. It's just the if you gave me a PGA Tour card right now, which I think obviously a lot of people would say this, but if you gave me a PGA Tour card right now and said, "Hey, here's your card, go play the PGA Tour this year," I would obviously 100% say yes, because I would be out there playing competitively. But it's just the grind of mini tours, money queues, even going through like PGA Tour Americas now, all that at this point right now, I just don't want to go through that grind. It's a lot, and it's expensive, and it can take a toll on you mentally if you're not playing well. And so right now, I have no desire to go through that grind. But I think at some point I might try it again. But I think that's going to be pretty far down the road. And luckily, golf is a sport we can play for a long time. So if I'm 10 years from now, if I want to go try it again when I'm 36, 37, then I still can. So I do miss competitive golf, but I'm also very happy at where I'm at right now. And I'll still get my fair share of competitive golf, whether it's amateur tournaments or doing stuff like, the Creator Classic. So,
yeah. Well, a lot less stress in what you're doing right now. Yeah. That is for sure. But I mean, this isn't to fluff you by any means. I mean, I've played one round of golf with you, and Like, you have all the tools. There is no doubt about it. I mean, what you have, you can't teach a lot of people. You got speed, and I mean, you're an incredible ball striker. Your short game is ridiculous. It's just whether or not you want to go out there and do it. But by the way, they're playing for $20 million every week on the PGA Tour, so maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, the purses have gotten crazy. It's wild.
All right, so
I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
I was just gonna say, I think I don't see myself, again. I could see myself doing it again in the future for sure. Just probably not in the near future, but we'll see.
PGA Tour is one thing, playing for tons of money out there. Let's say someone came to you and said, "I'll give you full status on the Corn Ferry Tour next year. Get the whole season." Would you take that?
That'd be pretty enticing too, because I think it's the fact of like having a set schedule that makes it so much easier. Because the grind of the mini tours, you're trying to figure out which. I mean, mini tour has schedule, but figuring out which one to play, and then do I go here because the money qualifier is closer to here than this other place, and obviously money qualifiers. If you make it, you have to change your whole schedule and go do this, and if you don't, you got to figure out where you're going to go next week. And I think I would take that actually, just because Corn Ferry, you have if you had full status, you have a nice full schedule to look at and get prepared for, and all that. So I think that takes a lot of the stress out too.
I want to hear a little bit more about your passion for OU. Like, are you a guy like Saturday, like your schedule is set around what time OU plays?
Yeah, 100%.
And you're locked 100%. In.
Respect.
I'm locked in. Yeah, we played this last Friday, and we just played Temple. But I actually went and watched it with Blaine Hale over at his house. And that one, we were pretty locked in early on. But then once we got to 5 touchdown lead or whatever, we kind of just started talking about stuff. But, yeah, I am diehard. Like, if OU loses a football game, my week is ruined.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Like, it feels like I died inside a little bit that Saturday if they lose. So, yeah, I'm probably about one of the biggest diehard OU football fans you can find.
All-time favorite Sooner?
Oh, man. Well, my dad. But that's kind of a cheat.
Doesn't count. That
Family
doesn't count.
Family doesn't count.
We'll go I think we're going to go Baker.
Oh, dude. So
Baker.
You don't know this about me, but I grew up a Texas fan. Like, I love the Longhorns. Okay. And so, I mean, the Texas OU game obviously is incredible. Red River rivalry. I hated Baker Mayfield because I was a Texas fan. And then I got to meet him a couple years ago out in Tahoe, and he's the coolest dude on the planet. I love the guy.
Yeah. No, while he was in college, he was one of those guys where if you weren't an OU fan, you hated him, which as an OU fan, we didn't mind. But, so I actually knew him. I didn't know him like super well in college, but I knew him a little bit. And he was always just super nice to me. He's big. He loves golf. So anybody on the golf team, if we come up to him, he was very happy to talk to and all that. So super nice guy. He's just, and that's another thing. People, like you were saying, people don't realize, like, when he's on the field, that's kind of like his competitive personality coming out. When he's off the field, he is like super nice guy, super just chill to be around. So yeah, I think he's probably my favorite Sooner. I'd say Adrian Peterson is number 2, but I'd say Baker.
He was so good.
He was tough. He stayed tough for like 15 years too. By the way, he's
so
not
good.
A human being.
Did I see on your Instagram? Were you like out for the coin toss at Texas OU one game?
I was. Yeah, that was
sick.
2017. I don't know exactly how it happened, but AT&T was a sponsor, and they had Spieth already lined up because Spieth sponsors AT&T. They already had him lined up to do the coin toss representing the Texas side, and we just won the national championship, a few months before. And Coach Hibble came up to me. We're about to qualify for a round, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, I have a pretty cool opportunity for you." And he told me they wanted me to go out there and represent OU at midfield and for the coin toss, and it's
a dream,
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to be on the field for like an hour before the game. We got to watch both teams run out while we were on the field, and then went out midfield. What's crazy is that who's the third guy? I forget who the third captain was, but the other 2 captains were Baker and Orlando Brown, which Orlando's one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the NFL right now. So I walked out there with captains, pretty good set of captains too, and got to do the coin toss. And we won. That was our first coin toss win of the year as well. So I'm taking full credit for that.
Well done.
And we won the game. So yeah, that was a fun day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's spectacular. Sorry, where was I about to go? Oh, Venables. Where are we at with him? You moved to SEC. What are the expectations? Where are we at? Are we SEC championship or bust? Or are we not?
No, not there yet. I love Venables. I think he is doing a great job. I think there was definitely a culture shift that had to be made after those just terrible defensive years. I mean, while I was in college, we had probably two of the best offenses in two separate years in like NCAA history. I was talking with Blaine about it the other day. That Georgia game we lost in the Rose Bowl, we had Baker, Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, CeeDee Lamb, Orlando Brown, Creed Humphrey, Marquise Brown. It was like the best offense possibly ever, like in terms of like now they're all in the NFL killing it. But we had the worst defense that year statistically. So there's definitely a shift that needs to be made in the culture. And I think Venables is doing that because he is a defensive minded coach. And I don't see this year, I could see it going. I think there's gonna be a lot of close games for us. So I could see us being 7-5 this year, or I could see us being like that 10-2, maybe 11-1 if we're lucky. So I think it's going to depend on if we win those one possession games. So it'll be nerve wracking. And we have probably the second toughest SEC schedule behind Florida. So they didn't give us any cupcakes this year, but I'm excited just to have SEC football. You know, it's like their term. It means more. Like we're going, if we have Mississippi State at home, that just feels like a bigger game than having K-State at home. And it's just the little things. It's SEC, so I'm excited for it, but also a little scared. Well, we just got to get through these first couple of years, I think.
Yeah, you could have a great year and lose 4 games.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's how strong it is.
Exactly. But with the playoff being the way it is now,
yeah,
you can lose 3 games now in the SEC and still possibly get in. So that's a good little trade-off, obviously, being able to have that tough of a schedule looking back on the year whenever the committee's trying to pick their top 12. So we'll see. I'm just happy. I mean, college football is the best time of the year, so I'm just happy it's back.
Me too. I'm with you. Do you have a game day tradition?
I don't really. Not that I can think of. I mean, just as long as this last Saturday. OU played on Friday, but this last Saturday was maybe the laziest day I've had all year. I was just glued to the couch, and I loved every second of it. So, as long as you give me a good couch to watch the game in, I'm all set. I don't really have any traditions.
Let's go to that living environment that you're in. The good house with all the fellas. I mean, it's got to be like a frat house. What's that vibe like? It's like living with your brothers. Or any scraps ever break out? What we got?
No scraps, at least not since I've lived there. But it's different now. So about 3 months ago, Bubby, Garrett, and Sploosh, who's he does like streaming for good, like video games. They moved into a different house. So now it's a lot smaller crew in the main house, which is nice. Again, I don't stay there a ton, but it is much more chill now. But for a while there, it was, what was it? Like 7 guys and 4 dogs in there.
And 5 bedrooms, right?
Smells good, I bet.
So, I was staying I was in the movie theater room. So I had no windows. It was hard to wake up sometimes. But it was a cool room. I got a projector to watch each night when I was laying in bed and all that. But it was madhouse. It's much more tame now, like I said. But it was pretty crazy there for a little while.
Who gets the big room? How do you decide on that?
So they were living in that house before I moved in. So I guess they decided a while back, but Steve got the master bedroom. Don't know how he got it. Don't know why, but it's Steve. We like to, he's one of the big boys with good. So I guess he got the bigger room, but I don't know how that was all decided, even though technically I think I had maybe the coolest room with the movie theater, and it was a big one too. So it was a nice little trade-off.
Should arm wrestle for it. You know what I mean? Settle it like men. What's y'all's shooting schedule? Like, what's your schedule specifically for good? Like daily, weekly, monthly? What's it look like?
It depends. I mean, like this summer we were traveling probably 15 days out of the month for those 3 or 4 months. And then the 15 days or so that we're home, we probably filmed 4 or 5 of those days. So normally it's usually about 10 days out of the month we're traveling. It's like one good week where we film for the month of content. And then we'll have like 3 random days where we have to go do a sponsor thing or whatever it may be. But it's been busy this summer. And then whenever we're home, if we're having to film something, then that day's or that afternoon's usually just taken up. But if we're not having to film anything, then that's when we have the time to film for our own channels, which I didn't have much time to do this summer, but I'll start getting it up again here in the next week or so. And then, time just to hang out with, our girlfriends or fiancés or wives, whoever we have. And, it's time to relax and just kick it for a little while.
Well, you are doing a hell of a job, man. It's really cool. It's cool to see the audience you are bringing into the game of golf. Hopefully it transfers over with events like the Creator Classic to the PGA Tour and the professional game. But congratulations on all the success. I think now we're going to get into the E9 here and have some fun with you.
Yeah, we got some random ones. I did, for the record, Brad, have you as my winner in the Creator Classic, which cost me a few, but don't hold your head down about that. I forgive you.
That putter, I'm sorry. That putter
okay.
just was not working that day, but next year.
Yeah, we'll double the bet next year.
Well, if you would have had your man, was it Marcus Brownlee? Was that the guy you played with at French Lick?
Oh, yeah. MKBHD, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
what?
He probably could have made a couple of those putts for me.
He made a few nice putts. He had a few little crooked off the tee, but he could putt.
A little crooked, but
this guy, so
he did have that 40-yard chip in, which was unreal.
I'd never seen this guy. He's a tech rater on YouTube. Looked him up. He has like 12 million followers.
Tech rater.
Yeah,
I thought you said tech rater.
No,
like
tech
Texas
rater.
Tech
Out of all
Raider.
the people at that event, he was by far the most famous.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the guy that gets all the tech shit and then is like, I love this. You should buy it. And they just send him all the stuff. Yeah, or this sucks. Don't buy
Tesla
it.
sent him the
That's a
truck.
great gig. That might be the best gig in the world.
Tesla sent him the truck.
Just to try it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice gig. Nice gig. We got to get into rating some shit. That's where it's at. What are we doing?
All right, let's get to the E9 here with Brad Dalke.
All right.
You're young. You have a girlfriend. Everything's all good. So we can ask you this. I mean, celebrity crush right now.
Open relationship, probably.
Celebrity crush.
Don't say Baker Mayfield. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. I really don't have one, to be honest. I think growing up was like Selena Gomez.
There you go.
Okay. Back in the day, but I really don't have one right now.
Margot Robbie's been a popular pick.
Margot is pregnant,
90%.
by the way. I'd like to inform everyone.
Yeah, I just learned that
So that's
a couple days ago on Twitter.
So did I. We probably saw the same thing. I had no idea. She is with child, as they say.
I'll tell you one who I haven't heard that I'm surprised hasn't taken over, especially with like guys this age. Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I feel like if you're that age, that's the layup of all layups.
Yeah, there's
probably not into that sort of thing.
I did see her in the Spider-Man movie, and I think the acting turned me off a lot. So,
oh no,
the acting ruined it.
Maybe the worst movie I've ever seen. So
you're a big Marvel guy, huh?
I am, yeah.
Okay, perfect. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Love me some Marvel.
Okay, we'll stay on a little kind of football theme here because you're diehard. You guys moved to the SEC like we talked about. Other than Texas, who you hate 25 out of 10, what program do you look forward to hating the most in the SEC?
LSU.
Okay, LSU. That was quick. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always hated LSU. It's always been in my top 3 or 4. And now that we're going to actually be playing each other some, and we're playing this year, yeah, that'll be.
Where is it?
Usually
Where is it this year?
It's in Death Valley.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So we'll. I want to see if I can go to that game somehow, just because I want to go to a game in Death Valley. But also, I know I can't wear OU stuff there, or else I get trash thrown at me. So we'll see if I actually follow through with that.
Yeah, that's why it's Death Valley.
We've been talking about making a trip down there too, because we have not made. Neither of us have been to a game at LSU. It looks so sick.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And every game's a night game, so it's just that much better.
It's so good. All right, good answer. That was fast. I like it. I could feel the real hate there.
All right. Best round of golf after a night of partying.
Oh, oh gosh. I shot 63 at Jimmy Austin in qualifying and got in a little bit of trouble because I was very hungover, and we had like a 9 o'clock tee time. It was qualifying, but I was just, literally like blackout on the course with my putter.
With your putter,
maybe a little bit from the night before, but yeah, it was 63 at Jimmy Austin. My lowest round I've ever shot at Jimmy Austin.
Day after Halloween, right?
Halloween's a big night in college. What were you?
You know that.
What were you?
We got sources around here.
Yeah.
What was the costume?
Oh man, I think I was a beer delivery guy.
Yeah, nice.
And you
And I
drank
had,
all
like,
your
the
supply.
dirty, like, blonde wig. Yeah.
That's great.
You got to tell coach, dude, like, I just need to get shit faced before tournaments. This could be it. I may have
Exactly.
just cracked the code.
Yeah, I remember after that round, he goes like, I want to get on to y'all so bad. I wanted to set an example on y'all. He's like, but Brad had to go shoot a freaking 63 and couldn't set an example for anyone. So, yeah, sorry, coach, for that one.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. It's hard to get pissed at a dude who shoots 63. That's you can always play good golf and get out of all the trouble. All right, down in East Lake, I was hoping this would happen. It didn't happen, but can you confirm or deny Rory McIlroy didn't show up to the Creator Classic because he didn't want a rematch in arm wrestling?
No comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
I did see him in the elevator the night before, so he knew I was in town.
Yeah.
And we talked for a couple minutes, but I was wondering why I didn't see him out there, but that might be the reason why. I didn't really think about that.
So you took him down in arm wrestling back in the day.
Smashed.
I did.
Where at?
It was at Sage Valley at the Junior Invitational.
Sick.
It was like the fourth year they were having the tournament, and they had like a Nike night where a pro golfer came in for like a clinic and meet and greet and all that. And Rory was that year, and someone had said I should go ask him to arm wrestle because I've always just been bigger, for my age, whatever. And I somehow mustered up the courage to do it, and we arm wrestled in front of everybody, and I whooped him. I took him down. So
that a boy.
Yeah.
So you just walked up, never met the dude before. You're a golfer. Hey, Rory, what's up, dude? Hey, you want to arm wrestle on camera real quick?
Yeah, which I'm not like the most outgoing person. Like I'm pretty to myself usually. So I don't know how I mustered up the courage to do that. But I did. And I was surprised he said yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he probably wishes he had said no just because went a little viral like right afterwards, but it was all in good fun. He took it well.
Yeah, props to him for saying yes. He did get body bagged.
That's awesome.
But
yeah.
He said yes.
All right, next one. Rumor has it you like to maybe sing and dance when you're getting ready, you're coming out of the shower or whatever it is. Favorite song to sing, and also tell me what your best dance move is, because apparently you know them all.
Shoot, dance move. See, I don't know. I don't have a dance like move that's called anything. I just kind of do whatever I'm feeling. So. Dance move, I don't know. I don't know if I gotta make sure I move the shoulders a little bit. The shoulders can get a little stiff sometimes, so I gotta stay loose with that, But and my favorite song to sing, I don't really have. I mean, just whatever I'm playing on the phone that day. But I mean, I do love belting some. Might be little, just Nickelback.
Okay,
might be a little what? Might be a little what?
Might be a little, polarizing.
They get crushed.
I don't get why they get
Nickelback.
so much hate. I watched their documentary on Netflix. It was fantastic.
Yeah, Nickelback is a great band.
They got some great songs.
Yeah, somebody just decided one day, like, we'll hate on these dudes.
Yeah.
And like, the whole world piled on. I don't understand what makes them cornier or worse than anybody else.
Yeah, I think people hate on Nickelback just to be in the cool crowd of hating Nickelback. It's like they didn't do anything wrong. They make good music. They know the equation to make a good song on how to make it sound good, and they took advantage of it.
I'm not scared to play a little Nickelback on touch tunes when I'm out at a bar and everybody be like, "Oh, who played this?" I'm like, "Really? You're singing every word. Don't act like you hate this stuff."
Every single word. Don't say anything.
I did hear you like Busta Rhymes though.
Oh gosh. Coach Hibble told you everything.
No, he didn't. Coach, this is not from Coach Hibble. But if you want to go ahead and throw a little Busta Rhymes out there, we will listen.
Oh, gosh,
you got
I'm not doing that.
Break your neck or something like that? I would not have had you pegged for a Busta Rhymes guy.
Just look at me now. Just like that one song. I think in college I made it like a goal of mine to learn like every single word. And
go ahead.
You still got it?
Good job.
You still got it?
Lines out there.
No, I don't have it. I can't do that.
Listen, we've had John Rahm rap on this show. We've had Brett Bayer rap on this show. So I mean, Brad Dalke, you're next up. Come on.
Your big names. Big names.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I can do it.
He's too shy.
I haven't done that in so long. All right, I don't think I can do it.
We'll wait. We'll get it maybe like a little video.
I bet you were doing it the day after Halloween on the golf course.
I was.
All right. Next one.
All right, next one. You get to add one member to Good. It could be anyone. It could be a PGA Tour player, be an athlete, celebrity, whatever. The guy that will bring the most value to Good and fit the vibe. Who you want?
Man. First thing that comes to mind, so we actually saw him at the Creator Classic. He was commentating. Is Joel Damon.
Yeah, Joel's great.
That would be fun. Obviously, he's a great golfer, so that would be fun to watch him play golf. But also, he knows how to have a good time, and I think he'd be great on camera. So I'd say we throw Joel in there.
He shot some good hungover rounds too, by the way. You guys could go toe to. He's had some 63 Jimmy Austin types in his day.
Yes, he has. On zero sleep and possibly a rental club set.
Yeah, one of the greatest rounds in the history of golf, by the way.
All right, next one. You can take this worst or best, whichever way you want, but prank that was played on you through college. Who had the worst one or the best one?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Grant Hirschman had the best one. Yeah, we were in Hawaii. Or no, was it Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico. We went to this nice little, like, seafood place that looked over the ocean, all this. And he ordered branzino that night, and it came with the fish head. And little did I know that he took the fish head back home with us, back to the hotel. We were rooming together. And I went and took a shower. He was in the main part of the hotel room, whatever. I went and took a shower, got out, laid down in my bed, and I wasn't looking when I laid down. Laid right on the like slimy fish head, and it was disgusting. And I was so mad. And Hirsch was taking a video of it all. Hirsch showed Coach Hibble a video the next morning, and Coach like was losing it laughing. He was showing it to like Coach Hack from Georgia, just cracking up with him. And I was so mad, and I was yelling some cuss words. Like the bed was like it was like grease was like all in the sheets, and like it was disgusting. I think I threw the fish at Hirsch once I saw it, and it wasn't great. Like that's the best thing about some good pranks. Like it doesn't take much, but the fact that he took the time and effort to like pack the fish in a little to-go box, like bring it home with him, and just put it right in the bed right where I was going to lay. That was a pretty good one.
See, those are the videos the world needs to see.
I don't think the world needs to see that video.
God, did you sleep in the fish bed after? It had to stink the room up too.
Oh yeah. He did it to himself. Like it was a prank on me, but it was also kind of on him because the room smelled awful the rest of the night. So that's on him. But it was a good prank.
All right, I love it. College days, man, good times. All right, go back to your college days. If this is terrible, you can blame your teammates on this one. But you had some nicknames, dude. Okay, which of the following college nicknames do you like the most and hate the most? But more importantly, I just want to hear how you got them. And you can defer any of these if you don't want. We got Big Chungus, I'm being told. We got Chester Butterfield. Any of those strike a chord?
Okay, so I'll just go through them. Okay. So Big Chungus was, I don't know if y'all ever saw that video game that like came out, or maybe it was like a fake video game. I don't know. It was this like super fat rabbit on this like video game cover. And the game was so-called Big Chungus. So obviously it's just kind of funny to say too. So they started calling me Big Chungus because of that. The Chester Butterfield is because I had so many nicknames in college. Quaid, I think I was playing with Quaid and Blaine at Jimmy. I think Quaid said, like, Brad, we could literally call you whatever we want and it would stick. And Blaine goes like, I could call you Chester for all I want. And then Quaid goes, actually, let's call you Chester Butterfield. And that just stuck. So just literally any nickname they came up with for me stuck.
All right, we mentioned earlier you like your Marvel movies. Big Marvel fan. Well, freshman year, you acted like a freshman occasionally. You might have got in trouble a little bit. And then at some point, you decided it would be a good idea to text Coach and all the guys, Captain America is going to be lit tonight. Can you explain that text? And at what point did you think it was a good idea to send that?
Okay, so this was actually a misunderstanding where Coach was in the wrong here. So, granted, we had a group me for our team, and we also group me was big back then. So like we had a group me like for a friend group and all that. So me and like I think all of us were out one night, and we saw some friends of ours that are in a class. Were in a class with us, and saw them out. We took a picture. I thought I'd send it to that friend group me. I really sent it to the golf team group me on accident. Like 1:30 a.m. My eyes are just, nobody's really there.
It's college.
It was a tough picture, and realized I sent it to the golf team group text. Coach Hibble the next morning finally saw it at like 7:30 a.m. and we got in some trouble for it. So that was tough. And then like 2 months later, the new Captain America movie had just come out. And so we all, like 4 or 5 of us, went to go see the movie. And as the movie's about to start, I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that to the group, but I said like Captain America's about to be lit. Coach Hibble thought I was talking about. He thought I was referring to myself as Captain America,
Which would have been awesome, by the way.
would have been awesome. Would have been a cooler story.
Yeah.
But he thought I was referring to myself as Captain America, like, hey, we're about to go out in town. I'm about to get nuts. And he texts back and he said some like snarky thing like, oh yeah, I forget exactly what he said, but he said something like basically assuming we were about to go out. And literally everyone on the team, because they knew what happened 2 months ago, everyone on the team's like, no, coach. He's talking about the movie. And yeah, Coach Hibble, that was a misunderstanding on his part. But to be fair, I mean, with the way I was at times freshman year, yeah, I could understand me calling myself Captain America about to go out on the town. So
he goes. I thought I had a nice breakthrough with this kid. Thought he was starting to go in the right direction. First off, he calls himself Captain America, and now he's telling me he's going to get shit-faced again.
Captain America's getting litty tonight, boys.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Guilty until proven innocent, dude. You know.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you got to prove it's not fair.
Oh,
it's
man.
not fair. You're a hell of a trooper, dude. For answering some of those. Thank you, Dalke.
That was a lot of fun, and congrats on all the success. Seriously, you are doing great work over there. Good. We really appreciate you joining us.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you boys soon.
You got it, my man. Thank you.
All right, that was Brad Dalke joining us on Golf Subpar. What a great dude. And what they're doing over there at Good Sleaze is just so impressive. 1.67 million subscribers on YouTube.
Dude, they're massive. Like that event you played in, they're lined up, they're signing autographs. Like in reality, like they're more famous or more recognizable amongst like some of the young fans than tour guys.
Oh, yeah.
Outside maybe like the top few. And by the way, Brad, I got a chance to see him caddied for a buddy at the Western Am back in the day.
You can say it.
Perry
Barry, how shitty he was.
Yeah, Tony Romo. He got his shit kicked by Brad Dalke. By the way, Brad was like medalist at this thing through the 36 holes. I'd never seen him before. I'd never met him. I was like, dude, that's real life golf. Like he's hitting it, 185 mile an hour ball speed. He was moving it left to right to left, chipping him. I was like, this kid can't miss. He is an enormous talent who, the fact that he only chased it for a few years, and then went to YouTube world with good is wild to me because of just his talent level is exactly what you see with these young guys coming up right now. Like he does all those things and he does it well, but that just shows you how successful good is.
Yeah.
Like it's enough incentive to stop playing.
He had a tough go as a professional. I mean, obviously battling the driver yips is going to be really difficult. But like I said, I mean, I'm out there every week with the best players in the world, and I went out and played with him just a month or so ago, and I'm like, he's got it all. I know he had a partner, who wasn't a very good golfer, but I mean, he still had a partner to lean on. It's impressive. Like he's got all the tools to be on the PGA Tour and be successful. It's just whether or not the mind will cooperate and he can go out there and compete at the highest level.
And you got to want it too. Like there is no just direct path. Like unless you're a PGA Tour you guy now, there is no direct path to just be like you said. If you gave me a tour card, like yeah, I'd take it. Of course, everybody would take it. But like I asked him about the Corn Ferry, like that's a little bit more of a grind. You're not gonna make the same kind of money, but there's an avenue.
Yes.
There. You gotta really want it to get to where these guys get. Because unless you're one of the few, the Ludwigs, the Rory, these guys, like you got to pay your dues on the way up, and it can suck and it beats guys up. Like I know it as well as anybody. And it just happened with Brad, like quickly, especially when he graduated. He said, I was struggling with my game, driver yips, all that. Like if he had another year of college, maybe figure that out and then turn pro or something, But when you come out and you're hitting 5 greens on mini tours events, like, yeah, you're going to get your head kicked and it's tough.
Coach Hibble told me a great story about NCAAs. I guess it was his last year was at Oklahoma State. It's still at Karsten Creek, which is one of the toughest golf courses in the world. And he told Brad going in, he's like, listen, if you don't have it with the driver, let's not even put it in play. And so they went out in the practice round, started on the second hole, hit 2 balls out of play, and he goes, it ain't happening this week, Brad. And he took the driver. So all he had was 3-wood. And he went out there and he finished 11th, hitting 3-wood off the tee because he's very comfortable with the 3-wood.
And he also hits 3-wood
300 yards.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a long golf course. That's a hard golf course. And he didn't even use the driver. That's what, like, yeah, the talent ain't in question. It's there. If he wanted it and he kind of like rededicated himself and if he could get the most out of what he's got, like he could play out there. He's not just like some of these YouTube guys like, oh, my handicap's this or that. I don't know what's true, what's not true. That guy golfs.
Yep.
That's a real dude.
And thanks to Brad for coming on. That was a lot of fun. All right, well, golf's over. for a few weeks. Nice little long 2-week off season for the boys. So now we get to start betting on what we really know, and that is football.
Let me tell you how that's going so far. It is hard to lose bets the way that I'm losing them, and just eventually you got to be like, I'm just be on the right side of one of these fucking things.
That's what you'd think.
It ain't happening. It's been rough, but we're about ready to turn around. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
We're gonna get.
I'll start with yours. I'll bet whatever you say.
We can go college or NFL. I decided to go NFL.
Okay.
Opening weekend of NFL. I just think this man's out to make a statement, and they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders just aren't very good. I mean, Devontae Adams, I'm not sure he really wants to be there, but Coach Harbaugh is making his debut for the Chargers, and it pains me to take the Chargers because of John Mallinger, Charlie Hoffman, and Joe Scovrin. But the Chargers, they're only laying 3 points against the Raiders. I think Harbaugh wants to come out and make a statement and say, I'm ready for the NFL. So give me the Chargers -3.
Okay. Going straight to NFL. Say less. I'll bet it. I need.
By the way, I just came up with all this shit right now.
Yeah, my shit's not really well researched, by the way. I'm just going with my gut. And my gut tells me this. I'm staying in college. That's my sweet spot. I think the Tennessee Volunteers are the sneaky team of the year. SEC's loaded always. They've been recruiting their asses off. This freshman quarterback they got, this Nico, I don't know how you say it, dude. Lama Layla. He's unbelievable.
I think that's it.
Threw for $1 million in the first game. They're really good, I think. I think they're sneaky like contenders in the SEC. -7.5 against NC State. I'll take Volunteers.
All right. There you go. I'll bet it too.
Yeah. Betting favorites. What could go wrong?
All right. Good luck to all you out there listening to us experts here. But hey, you want to get hyped? You want to look nice? We got it for you. RLX, 5 Hour Energy. Go pick you up some. And we'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.